Welcome to the Fantasy Source Fastball Podcast. My name is David Arnott. I'm sitting here with Brad Pinkerton, and we're going to be talking about a subject that a lot of you fantasy managers are probably going through right now, which is whether or not you should be going for a buy low prospect. Are there guys out there that you can buy that you think they're going to get better, and you think that the other managers don't realize they're going to get better? Brad, you wrote a column recently about this. What are the basic principles behind getting a buy low, behind a buy low candidate?
Well, the hit and run column today features 10 buy low candidates that I like, and I think the easiest thing to do, first of all, is you identify players that you can put your trust in to bounce back. And even though we're 3 months into the season now, and some of these guys have started slow, you just know that they have it in them for a second half surge, and that's essentially when you're buying low, you're looking for that kind of guy who can bounce back. Now the problem is, a lot of these guys, their names get thrown around, the Mark Teixeiras of the world who start slow. Everybody knows these guys are quote-unquote buy low candidates. Well, that takes away their buy low appeal, because if an owner with Teixeira feels like he's going to perform ultimately like a first-rounder, then you're going to have to give up a first-rounder to get him. There you go. You're not buying low.
Yeah, in many ways, it's like saying it's all about the perception of your friends.
Exactly, perceived value.
I mean, Alex Rodriguez, another example, beginning of the year, didn't hit a home run it felt like for the first month. But nobody believes he's not going to end up with at least 30 home runs. How do you say it's a buy low? Well, who is an example of a guy that in your emails that you're getting, in message boards that you're seeing, people questioning Fantasy Source staff, really is a buy low candidate? That the general perception out there is that he's not going to recover, but you think he will.
I think you have to find the guys, not necessarily that the general perception is that he's not going to recover, because that's not who you want. It's the guys, the owners who are fed up with certain guys, and you never quite know who that's going to be. Now, the targets other than Teixeira, who's a very well-known, so he's going to be tough to lift, but another target would be a guy like Ian Kinsler. Hopefully he's already gotten his annual injury out of the way. You don't have to worry about that. Texas offense is heating up right now. This is a great time to go get a guy like that, because you know he can produce like an elite player. And at this point, the owner might just be fed up with him, and maybe it means swapping headaches. If you have a guy that's similar to that, you want to jump on Kinsler, I think now is a great time to do it.
I would think that with Kinsler especially, a guy who has a history of being a great fantasy player, 2020 potential all the way down the line, and yet there's no overriding concern with him. As you said, that injury, you got to keep an eye on that. But if you just think he's not good anymore, that doesn't really seem to strike me as a good enough reason to get rid of him, or for anybody, and might be a good enough reason to pounce on him. As far as pitching, are there any pitchers out there that you see that kind of fit that maybe aren't doing as well as everyone expected them to, that their managers are getting fed up with that?
A good guy, and one that I'm targeting right now, Justin Verlander. He had another rocky outing. He's been up and down all season, and that's been his MO for the last couple of seasons. Is he gets on a hot streak, and you just plug him and play him, and every now and then there's just one explosion. So I think especially after one bad start, you can take advantage of an owner. Sniff around for Verlander. Tommy Hanson is a guy who has proven that he is very susceptible to the occasional explosion, but in between those, he's very good. And I think after last night's debacle, owners can take advantage of that. And another guy like Phil Hughes, the news that they're going to limit his innings is going to cause pandemonium. The New York media is going to jump all over it. National media is going to jump all over it. The owner with Phil Hughes in your league is sweating right now. Go get him. It's going to be overblown. He's still going to throw, even if he only throws 5-6 innings an outing. He's on pace right now, close to cover his, projected 180 innings. So really, them skipping one start mid-season and then maybe limiting him to 6 innings down the stretch, what does that really do in the big picture?
Yeah,
he's still pitching for the Yankees.
Yeah, and if he's getting more than 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, you don't have to give those back. Even if he only does in 6 innings rather than 7 innings, you're still gaining. He's still a better pitcher than a lot of other guys out there. Somebody else I was looking at, want to get your opinion on, Dan Herron. His ERA is floating somewhere around 4.7, I think. Good outing, notwithstanding last night. Do you think that he is the kind of guy that he's kind of going into a Javier Vasquez stage where all the peripherals are there, but it's just not turning into fantasy results, or should I just wait him out if I've already got him?
Dan Herron is an enigma this year. He's typically the very hot starter, almost unhittable in the first half of the season, and then falters second half. Everyone knows that. Unfortunately, now it's the early season struggles, plus everyone thinks he's going to struggle in the second half. If you have Dan Herron, most likely you're stuck with him or you're selling extremely low, which we don't recommend. You're just going to have to hope for the best. His problem is he's just been far too hittable this year. The strikeouts are there, but when he's not missing those bats, he's getting hurt, and that's concerning.
Yeah, I mean, unless he gets traded to a pitcher's park, which seems fairly unlikely given all the teams that are going to be trying to get that arm going down the stretch, I'm not sure it's looking too good for Mr. Herron.
No.
Brad Pinkerton, thanks for joining us on the Fantasy Source Fastball Podcast.
Thanks a lot.